Using one of the most venerated Buddhist instruments, the conch shell, Zen calls pilgrims to join the holy festivities. And they arrive in droves. This is the one day of the year when praying matters most, because every single prayer has the potential to multiply.
За ганжуур хэмээх энэхүү номыг сар шинийн 15-нд багтаж бид ингэж гандан тэгшлэн хийдэ тойрсон тохиолдолд бидний одоо буян ном улам их дэлгэрч
Inside the temple, there are 14 lamas leading the religious ceremony. But this is just a fraction of the hordes of monks who would have lived here generations ago. For much of the 20th century, Mongolia was caught between two squabbling superpowers, China and Russia. Buddhism in Mongolia has a dark past. With the rise of communism in the 1920s, the Mongolian authorities came under pressure to mirror Lenin's violent anti-religious reforms. Monks were considered counter-revolutionaries, and by the late 1930s, Buddhism fell victim to a bloody purge. Up to 30,000 monks were killed, and 70,000 more exiled or jailed. Religious practice in Mongolia all but disappeared. But with the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, everything changed. Now there's a big religious revival underway in the Gobi. These days, Mongolian Buddhism is moving with the times. Buddhists are embracing modernity, and the religion is flourishing. Today, more than half of Mongolians are practicing Buddhists. And Mongolia isn't just undergoing a cultural revolution. The whole of the Gobi is in a state of transformation. Urbanization is gathering pace, and people are abandoning their rural ways in the hope of a better life in the cities. In 2010 alone, following the effects of a ferocious winter, more than 20,000 destitute nomads relocated from their desert homes to the capital of Ulaanbaatar. But in deserting the land, people are also breaking the bonds that have enabled them to survive in this desert for so long. And if the trend continues, there is one creature who stands to lose everything. The number of native camels in Mongolia is in drastic decline, and while some manage to exist in the wild, most are domesticated and rely on humans for food and water. As this relationship changes, so too does the role of the animal in everyday life. Today, many of Gobi's camels are more show ponies than workhorses. The faster and more beautiful the animal, the bigger the status symbol. And this is where the proudest owners come to show off their magnificent beasts. 800 kilometers south of the capital, on the snowy plain in Bulhun, the annual 1,000 Camels Festival is in full swing. It's the nomadic equivalent of the Olympic Games, a chance to showcase the power and the agility of both animals and owners. Starting with the camel relay. Young, unbroken animals are brought into the ring, and it's the herder's challenge to tame them in every way. Before trying to mount the wild beast, they must first bind it and pull it to the ground. Then cut away its fur, which is plaited into a rein that the rider will use to show the camel who is master. The risk of being thrown and trampled is very real. The ultimate skill is one of final domination, saddling the beast with a packed-down traditional gur and hay for the winter. It's a real spectator sport, and everybody has an opinion. The winning team is always the one with a whole lot of know-how and that little bit of luck. And today, Aditran's one of those who's come out on top. Owner of 60 camels, he's one of the wealthiest herders in the province. He sees the festival as an opportunity to both demonstrate the spectacular power of the animals and promote their plight. But like all the men here today, he has one big event on his mind. The 30-kilometer dash. The winner of this mad camel race across the snowy desert will steal the most coveted festival prize. As the seconds count down, an eager bunch of herders huddle to wager their hard-earned cash on what is, probably, their one and only bet of the year. With a long stretch of deep snow to navigate, every rider is dicing with death. Within minutes, the race breaks up as a few hopeful riders streak ahead of the main pack. These are the men who know exactly what they are here for today. Then, with one last whip from the winner, the camel race of the year is over. Some racers are disappointed.
Уралдаан зүүнтэй хоёр тэмээ гаргасан. Хоёр тэмээ явуулсан. Тэгээд эхлээ гараад уулна гайгүй явж байгаа. Тэгээд нэг нь эхний элементээр явж байгаа. Нэг нь хадуураад, тэмээ дагаж хадуураад. Тэгээд бас жоо хатууд хамартаад хөөхт нь жоохон дийлээгөө тэгээд хадуур явцсан.
But where was Iditsaran in the order of things?
Энэ шард дөрөвдөг шард мөн одоо миний. Миний тарам сая дөрүүлж явж байгаад одоо эндээс 500 метрийн зайтай бас жоохон суучлаа. Жоохон сэтгэл жоохон дондор л байна. Гэхдээ яхаа дараа жил.
The race winner gets a brand new motorbike. The irony seemingly lost. And for all he's had to put up with, the camel gets a much-needed lift home. Another festival has come to an end, and people return to their lives. These are the people who've made a home in a desert that's changing faster than almost any place on Earth. Mongolia's first ever mining boom is gripping the nation. It carries promise of new future, but is cutting deep into the landscape. It's an unprecedented push for progress, with winners and losers. Standards of living are being transformed. Urban growth is advancing at breakneck speed, but all at the cost of an ancient way of life. Today, the destiny of the Gobi lies within the heart of its people. In the face of immense physical challenges, hope springs eternal. Even in the most untouched parts of the desert, resilience is strong. By holding fast to their faith, perhaps the desert dwellers have the power to preserve the spellbinding beauty that is the Gobi.